Okay, so we're going on here with the carburetor rebuild. This will be part 2 of probably 3 or 4 parts. Tools you're going to need to get that carburetor off. Fuel line was 3/8, and you're going to need a 1-inch wrench to hold the jam nut beside the carburetor to keep this stable while you turn that fuel line we just showed. So that's a 1-inch, and the fuel line was a 3/8. Okay, and then you're going to need a 1/2-inch box end open end, as well as a 1/2-inch ratchet, and you got 2 nuts holding the carburetor on. Okay, one comes to the top of the body of the carburetor, and the second one is like most conventional carburetors. It's just at the base. This one is a little awkward, so you're gonna need a ratchet with a swivel on the end to allow you to get past this upper casting here, because it actually goes down. So your swivel will make that bend there, that awkward bend to get it. Other than that, that's what it took to get it off. And I'm going to get me a white rag here, and I'm going to tear it down in the manner that it sits on the car. And as I disassemble, I will replace everything as the manner that it sits on the car, so I don't get confused, turn anything incorrectly, and do stupid things like that for a first timer. Okay, and what else is it? Something critical here. I think I covered it all for this part 2 of this Corvair carburetor rebuild. My kit has everything in it, so I'm quite sure I'll run into a thing or two that it's a little foreign to me, but it's not rocket science. And when you look at the money saved, oh, I know what the key pointer I was going to tell you. So I don't have to redo the linkage and go through the whole rigmarole there. The linkage is sitting there untouched for this carburetor, which is already set. Okay, so what I am not going to do on the rebuild, or while it's disassembled, is the idle screw. I'm not going to change it. I'm not going to remove it, because you've thrown off the linkage setting. So, and there's one more screw you can do and throw off everything. I forget. It's the idle, I think. It's the only one. The air mixture is no biggie. It's not hooked to the linkage, but this is definitely hooked to the linkage. So this screw I would not tamper with at all during the rebuild. Okay, and that will make it easier for me to reassemble, hook the linkage back up. It will hold its setting for the twin carburetors, and all I will have to deal with then is my idle once it's reassembled, and my air fuel mixture once it's reassembled. So that's just a little FYI to keep you from having to deal with that linkage. Otherwise, if you forget or tamper with that screw while you're rebuilding, you are going to have to reset the whole linkage. That means taking it off both carburetors and having to reset it from ground zero. So just a FYI before you bypass that. If you don't want to be bothered with that linkage and you're doing them one at a time, just leave those idle screws alone. There's no reason to mess with them while you're rebuilding. They have no air fuel mixture. They have no purpose other than to fast idle or slow idle. So right now the linkage is timed, and that'll save me a whole lot of headache and heartache when I get ready to fire back up. All right. Once again, I'm going to step off into part 3, which is the actual teardown. And I'm going to get my compressor going over here and start blowing passages, venturities, and push all the debris and trash out and rebuild the floats, needle and seat, which is in the package, and change a whole lot of gaskets and the accelerator pump rebuild. I'll probably give you a part 3 on this once I get into the carburetor. Some little issues that you will see. So when you take your first adventure, it won't be so bad. Thanks again for watching. Subscribe, comment, input is all appreciated at the Resurrection Shop, where we take the old and make it work like the new.